All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking some concepts from the money blueprint that are absolutely going to shift your mindset. We are breaking down the actual nuts and bolts mechanics of true wealth generation. Look, if you've ever felt like you're working incredibly hard, but somehow just not getting ahead financially, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to visually break down exactly how to escape that paycheck trap once and for all. So, have you ever actually stopped and wondered why some people achieve total financial freedom while the vast majority never do? Like, why do a select few get to build wealth and enjoy life entirely on their own terms, while so many of us spend decades just grinding away, literally living from one paycheck to the next? Well, our source material makes one thing crystal clear right out of the gate. It is absolutely not about luck. It's not about having a genius level IQ, and it certainly isn't about the zip code you were born in. It really all boils down to this one simple truth. Wealth isn't about luck. It's about habits. Escaping that exhausting, endless cycle comes down entirely to your financial habits, the tiny daily decisions you make, and your underlying mindset. It's a blueprint, not a lottery ticket. So today we're exploring the biggest structural reasons why most folks stay stuck, and more importantly, how you can build things totally differently. Okay, let's dive right into this. Reason number one, and honestly, this is arguably the most dangerous trap, is the sheer fragility of relying on just one single income source. Most people have one paycheck. That's it. If that paycheck suddenly disappears, well, their entire financial stability disappears right along with it. Financially successful people, they know this. They understand that relying on a single stream of income is incredibly risky. That's exactly why they actively build multiple streams. Because the more streams you have, the less vulnerable you are to the unexpected. Now, the next massive hurdle here is lifestyle inflation. Just picture this. Step one, you get a raise at work. You feel amazing, right? But then, step two, you go out and buy a bigger, much more expensive car. Step three, you upgrade your phone, maybe get a bigger apartment, add a bunch more subscriptions. You increase your expenses. And finally, step four, you stay perfectly trapped. Instead of increasing their actual wealth, most people just increase their lifestyle. The more money they make, the more money they spend. It keeps them stuck on the exact same financial treadmill. Section 1. The wealth pivot, assets versus liabilities. So this is exactly why people stay broke despite earning higher and higher salaries over their careers. To fix this, we have to execute what we call a wealth pivot, which means fundamentally understanding the difference between these two things. Simply put, a liability literally takes money out of your pocket. Most people spend their entire lives buying these. An asset, on the other hand, puts money into your pocket. It really is that simple. Financially free people focus almost 100% of their energy on acquiring things that generate income for them, rather than drain it. To make this hyper-practical, let's look at exactly what kind of income-generating assets the wealthy are actually acquiring. As listed in our source, we're talking about stocks, businesses, rental properties, digital products, and intellectual property. Do you notice a trend here? None of these are depreciating consumer goods. These are engines. The wealthy don't just buy things, they buy things that buy other things. And the more of these assets you own, the more financial freedom you're systematically creating for yourself. Section 2. The growth engine. The power of compounding. Okay, so now that we know what to buy, we need to understand exactly how that wealth grows. A lot of folks are actually great at saving money, but they never take the step to invest it. The huge problem with idle cash is that its purchasing power is just slowly, silently destroyed by inflation. It's not growing. But investments, they have the potential to compound dynamically over time, growing exponentially. This is where the math really starts doing the heavy lifting for you. Just look at this quote. Money should work for you. The wealthy understand this one foundational principle above literally everything else. Your money shouldn't just sit lazily in a bank account doing nothing. Investing allows your wealth to grow, to basically work a 24/7 shift on your behalf, even when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation, or just not actively working. Section 3. Breaking the barriers, overcoming financial fear. Now, knowing all of this logically is one thing, but actually executing it, that's another story. Because personal finance is rarely taught in schools, we enter the real world without a clue about budgeting or investing. Actually, scratch that. It's more like we jump in actively fearing it. We face 4 massive psychological roadblocks. First, the fear of calculated risks. People avoid investing because they fear failure, totally forgetting that every successful person has failed and learned from it. Second, the desire for instant results. In our world of instant gratification.
Third, the complete lack of a financial plan, which is like driving without a destination. And finally, uncontrolled high-interest debt. Things like credit cards, where every single month your hard-earned money goes to interest instead of building your own wealth. Overcoming those massive roadblocks requires a total mindset shift, which is beautifully captured right here in the text. Patience is a superpower. Real wealth is so rarely an overnight success story. It's built on small investments, small improvements, and small, incredibly smart decisions that are repeated consistently over time. Action paired with incredible patience, that is the true formula here.
Section 4. Redefining wealth. True financial freedom.
First off, we have to reset a very, very common misconception. Financial freedom does not mean yachts and private jets. It really doesn't mean you have to be a billionaire. Media and culture heavily distort our view of wealth, making it seem like it's only about hyperluxury and flashy status symbols. But honestly, that is missing the point entirely.
Instead, the source material offers us a much more grounded definition. Financial freedom means having enough assets and income to support the life you want, giving you choices and total control over your time. It simply means not being forced to work just to survive. Time and choice, those are the ultimate luxury goods, and that's a deeply personal, highly achievable goal that is absolutely worth going after. But you have to start. The source leaves us with a pretty stark personal warning. Every year you delay is a year your money loses the opportunity to grow. Because compounding relies so heavily on time, waiting to get your financial education, waiting to invest, and waiting to acquire those assets has a literal massive cost to your future self. Your future doesn't have to look like everyone else's, endlessly repeating those same old habits year after year. Which brings us to this final, absolutely crucial question. What decisions will you make today to build your financial future? Because, as we've just seen, your tomorrow is built entirely by the habits you establish today. So start learning, start investing, start building those assets. Keep focused, and I will see you in the next explainer.